Hello dear students, today's experiment is dynamic braking of DC shunt motor. So here we will plot the characteristics of DC motor for dynamic braking. So the apparatus required for this experiment are the DC motor. You can also see the specifications of this DC motor. It is a 5 kilowatt 220 volt 27 amperes. It's a rated current. Field current is 1.8. Rated RPM is 1500. So this is the DC motor. You can see the nameplate. Okay, now what is dynamic braking? In dynamic braking, you can see the connections for motoring mode. It is a shunt motor, so this is supply voltage, field winding and armature all are connected in parallel. In braking, what we do, we just disconnect the armature from supply, we keep field connected to the supply, and then we connect a braking resistor across armature. So this is the connection during braking. So there is a resistor, braking resistor across armature. So what happens, there is kinetic energy present in the armature. When motoring, the kinetic energy is already stored into the armature, rotating armature. So when we disconnect from the supply, still due to kinetic energy it continues to rotate. So here what is the situation is, the armature is rotating in the field. So conductors are cutting the flux, and whatever is the back EMF, it is getting still getting generated. So due to that back EMF, a current is set up in this loop. So normally back EMF is opposite to V, means this A terminal is positive, A is negative. So same polarity will be there because direction of rotation has not changed. So due to that, the current will be opposite that of the motoring. See, in motoring, the IA is entering into A and leaving AA, whereas in braking, the current is leaving A and entering into AA. So current has become reversed, and due to that there is braking. The torque will be reversed and it will act like a braking torque. So how we can calculate the braking current? So just a simple circuit here, E divided by the total resistance in this circuit, that is E divided by RA plus RB. So the braking current, okay, braking current is given here, and negative sign is given because the direction of current will be negative. So when we replace E here, so it is Ke phi n by RARB. And if you want to calculate braking torque, in that case torque and current are proportional, therefore I into Kt into phi, that will be the braking torque. Now in this torque equation, this Ke, Kt are the constants. For shunt motor, flux is also constant. So this whole term along with RARB, this whole term will be a constant. Therefore the equation is just like torque developed equal to some constant, okay, minus constant into the speed. So it is like a straight line equation passing through origin, and this line is having negative slope. So during motoring, we know it is also a straight line equation, but it is passing through V by K. So this is the characteristic during motoring. This is the operating point. Now to perform this braking, we first run the motor in motoring mode. So this will be the operating point in the first quadrant. So first quadrant is the motoring quadrant. Then we switch over the armature from supply to braking resistor. So suddenly the equation will become this one. So the operating point will go shift here, and it will be a characteristic passing through origin. So it will be on this characteristic. So for particular braking resistance values, there will be multiple characteristics. Now the characteristic shown here is actually with variable value of braking resistor. But in this practical, we are not going to perform this. So in this practical, we are going to plot this characteristic, then this characteristic separately, and then this one also. So the procedure will be, so I'll show the practical connections. Okay, so this is the arrangement. So we have to use a starter to run the machine. So these are connections along with starter. Then we need a changeover switch. So say this, these three terminals, P1, N, P2 and P1 dash, N dash and P2 dash are the terminals of changeover switch. Now armature is connected between these two terminals. So when we change over on this side, when we connect this switch over the switch on this side, in that case N gets connected to P1 and N dash get connected to P1 dash. And if we switch over on this side, then N will get connected to P2 and N dash will get connected to P2 dash. So this armature can be connected to a supply when the switch is on this side, and then the armature can be switched over to this resistor circuit. So this is the circuit arrangement. Now I'll show you the connections. So as per this diagram, A must be okay, I'll start from the supply side. So the supply positive is connected to L and supply negative is connected to N. So I'll show you here. This is supply positive and negative. So this positive is yellow wire, it is going to L. Okay, so this is a MG set, but the motor terminals are available here. So S1, S2 are not used. This is for series connection. So this is not a, you can say, compound motor. So these terminals are left open. So only the starter terminals. Okay, this one is the starter, 4-point starter. So L, A, F, N are the starter terminals. F1, F2 are field terminals of the motor. A1, A2 here are the armature terminals of the motor. So I'll trace the connections now. So from positive of the supply, it should go to L, and N is connected to negative of the supply. So positive of the supply is going to L and negative is going to N. After that, the same negative is going to F2 and it is also going to the one terminal of switch. So this connection here between N and F2, and again F2 or N is going to one terminal of the switch. So see the switch. So actually there are 9 terminals, but we are not using 9 terminals. We just need 6 terminals. So between these two there is armature. Okay, you can see these two wires. The yellow wire is going to A2 and this red wire is going to A1. So A1, A2 armature terminals are connected to these two. Now when the switch is changed over on this side, it has to be motoring. So a positive supply must be coming here and negative must be here. So this negative is, it is going to N, and positive, this positive is coming from A of the starter. So here A of the starter is connected on this side of the switch, negative is coming here, A1, A2 are connected here on the central terminals of the switch. Now between these two terminals of the switch there should be ammeter in series with the rheostat. So between these two terminals there has to be ammeter. So positive, this positive is going to the ammeter positive, and another terminal of ammeter is going to rheostat, and then from the rheostat it is coming back to the switch. So this is the series connection. So armature, if it is switched over on this side, it is motoring. When it is switched over on this side, it is braking, dynamic braking. Now the last connection is the voltmeter. So the voltmeter is connected across the armature. It is a 0 to 300 volts voltmeter, because armature EMF will be almost equal to the input voltage, and the current, braking current in this case, we'll be using a 220 ohm 2.8 ampere braking resistor. So almost this 230 volts divided by 220, it will be around 1 ampere. Okay, so 0 to 5 amperes ammeter is fine, and this is the rheostat, 220 ohm 2.8 amperes. Then ammeter is connected to 5 ampere range. This is the voltmeter. Voltmeter is a center zero, means it can show a positive voltage or a negative voltage. So from this voltage, as this voltmeter is directly connected across the armature, we can even guess the direction of rotation. If it is positive, then it is forward rotation. If it is negative, then it is reverse rotation. So that will be useful in plugging, not in dynamic braking. In dynamic braking, it will be just positive and then coming to zero slowly. So what we need to plot is the characteristic. So characteristic is the relation between the torque and the speed, omega and the t. But instead of sensing torque, okay, or measuring torque, or even measuring speed, we can measure the quantities which are directly proportional to these two. So torque is proportional to current, so we can measure armature current. So when it is in braking condition, armature is connected to resistor, rheostat. So there is a ammeter in series with the rheostat. So we can just measure the current, armature current. So this will give us the armature current. So just multiplying it by a constant, we will get a torque. And then for speed, back EMF is proportional to speed. So no need to measure the speed, we can just have voltmeter reading. So this voltmeter will give us the back EMF. If you multiply it by some constant, it will be a speed. Then this ammeter will give us the armature current during braking, and if you multiply it by another constant, we will get the torque. So without multiplying the constant, if we directly plot V and I, that is also fine. That will be a characteristic between back EMF and the braking current. So nature will be the same. The slope and all this characteristic nature will be the same. So here some calculations are done for braking current. How much braking current I want? So we already know that this motor is rated for 27 amps. So if I do calculation to set the braking current to rated, so this is the calculation. So it will be a back EMF approximately 220 divided by armature resistance 0.15 plus the braking resistor. I want the current to be rated 27. So for this known current, what could be the value of braking resistor? So that is calculated, it is coming out to be 7.64, 7 ohms. But how much will be the current? 27 amps. So that much current must be flowing through this rheostat, and we don't have that much high current rated rheostat in our lab, or currently I have not connected. So I have connected very small current rating of the rheostat, but its value is very high, so it will limit its current around 1 amp or less than 1 amp. Okay, so accordingly I can just put here 1 ampere, or for the known value of the braking resistor, okay, I can calculate the current, or for 1 ampere current I can calculate the braking resistor, whatever, in either way. So ultimately we want to keep this as well as motor safe. So as per the connected equipments, we must be doing calculations. Okay, so for this particular reading, we will take back this braking resistor value as 220 ohms. So 220 upon 220 plus 0.15, it is almost 220. So this is coming out to be 1 ampere almost. Okay, roughly it is 1 ampere current. So fine for this rheostat, it is 2.8 ampere rheostat. Okay, now I will perform the experiment, but before that I will just show you how is the setup. Okay, so this is the setup. Now what we have to do, the steps to perform this experiment. So there is a main switch here. Okay, so first we have to switch on the main switch. Second, or before anything, we have to keep this on motoring side. Okay, this is very important. First you keep this on motoring side. Then switch on the DC supply, and then you can just move this by pressing gently inside. Okay, move this. Motor will start running. It will be held here by a holding coil. You can see the holding coil, and then just wait for some time. It will be running in the steady state. What we'll observe some positive voltage here because back EMF is there when it is running, but we don't see any current because this is connected in braking resistor, in series with the braking resistor. So after this motor is going to steady state, just change over this switch. Okay, remove from this side and put it on this side. As soon as we put it on this side, we must get some reading here. So we will get back EMF as well as this current. Then we have to keep this recording continuously steady here because we want the readings of voltage and current simultaneously. So I am recording them in a single screen, so I can easily pause the video afterwards at different you can say timings, and I can get what was the current, what was the voltage, what was the current, and what was the voltage, and I can fill up the observation table and I can draw the characteristic. So in observation, what we need is what is the braking resistor value we have used, then the variation in the back EMF and the current, back EMF and the current. So we can use some okay, you can pause video for multiple times. So here it is paused for 3 times, and we just get few points on the characteristic. Okay, like this. So this is for one value of braking resistor. So few points are taken and just they are joined to form one characteristic. So for particular value of braking resistor, you will get a particular slope, therefore this characteristic. If we change the braking resistor value, if we reduce it, then this is the characteristic. If we further reduce it, then this is the characteristic. So every time we have to start the motor and switch over, then start the motor, switch over and take these readings, and like that. So I'll just show you one sample reading here. So I'm going to switch it over on this motoring side. Now switch on the DC supply and start the machine. So there is a voltage shown by this meter, no current. Now I have to just switch over this. Oh, taka taka taka. Okay, you can see this. The motor has stopped. So we have to change over very fast. So there was slight delay. That is fine. We have to change over very fast, and then whatever was the video, we have to just pause it for some times and get some points. Okay, so you will get the readings. See this for rated current 220, 16, then 120, 14, 20 and 3. So for different values of voltages, we can plot negative currents. So this will be a characteristic straight line passing through origin. So this is how we can perform dynamic braking of induction motor. Okay, there is one more thing we can do in this experiment. That is, we can confirm the fast stopping of the motor by measuring stopping time of the motor. So for that, you can take another set of readings. So first, we must know how much time motor takes to stop when it is stopped without any braking. So keep the switch on motoring side, start the motor, let it be in the steady state, and after that just break this connection like this. Okay, so I just disconnected the armature from the supply. I have not shifted on this resistor side, so just keep it like this. So just disconnect the armature and let the motor stop. So you can use a stopwatch as soon as you disconnect from the supply, start the stopwatch, and then you can just observe the voltage here, or you can just observe the motor okay, and when this voltage comes to 0, the motor is stopped, or you can just watch the motor when it is stopping, and at that instant you stop the stopwatch, and you now know the time to stop without any braking. Now with dynamic braking, it must take lesser time. That also depends upon the braking current or the value of the braking resistor. So lower the braking resistor, lower should be the stopping time. And I can say ideally the braking resistor must be 0. Means you can just disconnect the armature from the supply and short circuit the armature terminals. Okay, but that sets very large current through the armature may get damaged, so we should not do that. Okay, so practically there must be resistance in the armature circuit. So in you can say along with the resistor, when you perform this, then again keep this on motoring side, run the motor in steady state, just change over and start the stopwatch, and again when this voltage goes to 0 or when motor stops, you stop the stopwatch, and then you will get the timing or time to stop the motor when you set some particular value of braking current or you use some particular value of braking rheostat. And for different value of this braking resistors, you must get different time. So that also you can add in this observation table. So on the very first reading, it should be without any braking resistor, how much current motor, how much time the motor is taking to stop. So you can write that here. Afterwards, for particular value of braking resistor, how much time it has taken to stop. Okay, and for different value of braking resistors, again how much time it has taken to stop. So actually it is written here, but it should be a small t. Okay, so braking time, small t. So capital T base like braking torque. So there is slight mistake in this notation. So it is, the timing is actually written here, 2 seconds or 1 second and like that, 2.6 seconds. So you can observe here, when the resistance is very small, the braking stopping time is smaller. Here it is for 1.5 times the rated. This is for rated. So braking resistor value is lowest here. We get lowest timing. Then it is 7.64 for 2 seconds, and this is somewhat higher resistor value, 27 ohms. Stopping time is 2.5 seconds. So that another thing also can be confirmed from this experiment. So now I am taking the timing to stop the motor without any braking. So how much time motor has taken to stop. Okay, for that I can directly switch off the supply, armature, just keep it open circuit. So at 34 seconds I have disconnected. At 44 it has stopped. That means it has taken 10 seconds to stop without any braking method used. So it must be less for any type of braking methods. Okay, now I will take time to stop for dynamic braking, and the resistor value is 220 ohms. So I'll start the motor and just switch over, and I will see how much time it takes to stop. Without any braking, it has taken 10 seconds, so it should be less than 10 seconds. Started the motor. Now I'll just change over. I'm going to change it over at 32 seconds. The video stopped at 40. Okay, it has taken around 8 seconds to stop. It is less than 10 seconds. The time is very close because the resistance value is very high. For 27 rated current motor, we have just used 1 ampere current as a braking current, and it is also not a constant 1 ampere at all instants, because the braking current is continuously dropping. Along with reduction in the speed, back EMF is reducing, therefore the current is dropping. So in this case the braking is not that much effective. So we know that for getting effective braking we must vary the resistance continuously. So this is the section resistance. So when we vary the resistance along with the speed, then the braking torque is maintained within this region and the braking will be very effective. So for lesser values of braking resistors, we can get better readings. So that is already recorded here. You can see here, just 2 seconds it will take if we use 7.6 ohm resistor, or it can also take 1 second to stop if we use 5.28 ohms resistor. Okay.